All right, so the NFL draft is just days away at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And we wanted to bring a video that might be outside of the box, but we are thinking of landing spots recently for some of these rookie guys who are coming into the draft, where these talents could go. And at the end of the day, people's values are going to be hurt. Someone in Dynasty that you have right now on your team, their value will be negatively impacted by the draft. And that's why we're making this video.
Yes.
We are making, I guess, educated guesses based off of certain information that we believe of certain players that could decrease in value after the draft. And we're going to decide if we should trade them or just hold. So I'll give you my first player, and that's Michael Gallup.
Oh,
all right, Michael Gallup. Amari Cooper and Cedric Wilson are gone, right? So we all have hope. I think anyone who had Michael Gallup this offseason, when they saw him get re-signed, they saw Amari's gone, Cedric's gone. Oh, this could be the time we see the talent finally take over. A true wide receiver too. This could be the solidified 2 on this roster. But Jerry Jones is still making all the moves for this team. Mm-hmm. And he makes the splash moves. In 2020, I mean, Michael Gallup was coming off a really good season. And they went and they drafted CeeDee Lamb when no one thought that they needed a wide receiver.
No one.
To be fair, how do you pass up on that talent? But this is exactly what I'm saying. Like, we could be in another situation here with the Cowboys' first round pick, and there is a very talented wide receiver on the board that's fallen. We've talked about multiple wide receivers that were like, these guys could fall. And there's a lot of rumors. They're actually feeding into this. Feels like every week we hear about a new wide receiver that they are talking to in this pre-draft process. So far, Chris Olave, Treylon Burks. Apparently, rumors came out that they wanted in on Devontae Parker. Now, why the hell would they do that? I mean, Devontae Parker, Michael Gallup, I think they can bring similar things to an offense. So why are we doing? I mean, at the end of the day, all of their actions haven't indicated that they're comfortable with this wide receiver room. And it's frustrating because I feel like there's more than enough there. You got Dalton Schultz, CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, Tony Pollard out of the backfield. I mean, this is a really good wide receiver room. Is it like elite? No, but it's very good.
Yeah.
And you got a lot of money in a lot of different areas, and there's a lot of needs for your defense and the offensive line. But would it surprise any of us, guys, if Chris Olave, Treylon Burks, Jahan Dotson, Sky Moore, would it surprise any of us if one of these wide receivers go to the Cowboys and Jerry Jones just says splash? What if it's George Pickens? I don't think it should surprise any of us if that happens.
Yeah.
And I'll sum it up by saying this. Michael Gallup will still be valuable if this happens, but his upside will be tremendously hurt if another target is added to this offense. We already saw the upsides of CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper being impacted last year, and Michael Gallup, you could argue, because of the amount of volume that they were trying to go around to this wide receiver core. And the last thing I'll say as well is, yeah, Michael Gallup got paid, but he didn't get paid, okay? And let me explain.
He got paid more than me, tell you that much.
Yeah, he did, but this is a team-friendly deal. This really is when you look at this. This is a team-friendly deal.
Right.
All these wide receivers that are signing in free agency are signing deals that we're justifying it by saying, well, in 2 years, this is going to look like a team-friendly deal. Michael Gallup's already looks like a team-friendly deal, okay? Christian Kirk right now is the 10th highest paid wide receiver in the NFL. Michael Gallup, who signed a contract after Christian Kirk, by the way, is the 24th highest paid wide receiver in the NFL.
Right.
Here's a couple wide receivers who are making more money than Michael Gallup. Kenny Golladay, Robert Woods, Robert Woods, Robbie Anderson, Corey Davis, Curtis Samuel.
Sheesh.
So really, like, did he really get paid? Because to me, if we're talking about this wide receiver market in 2 years from now, that's wide receiver 2 and 3 money. That's not like wide receiver 1 solidified money that you overpay for a good
100%.
talent. And so to me, the money, it really is a team-friendly deal. So we have to decide, are we looking to sell? Am I worried enough to sell? And I think it all comes down to what I can get, right? If I can get a late first in 2022, if I can get a first in any year, I would do it, right? 2024, 2025. I mean, any first, I would definitely sell. Or can I get an early second in 2023? If I can do those things, I would do it. Here's some wide receivers I would try and get for Gallup. First one I think is very realistic. Calvin Ridley. I know it sounds crazy, but go trade for Calvin Ridley and get a pick back. Cortland Sutton, Mike Williams, Kadarius Toney, Allen Robinson, Chase Claypool. Those are some names that I would look at exploring because I really like those player situations better than Gallup. I feel more secure for them in the draft. So yeah.
Okay, I like it. Very, very interesting. My first player that maybe I am hesitant to say because he holds a really special place in my heart, and that's Saquon Barkley. Look, I think it has to be said, and I know a lot of this may sound crazy or to some people, and some people it's like, well, yeah, this is kind of
makes sense.
It makes sense. Look, Saquon Barkley. There's a lot of talks of the New York Football Giants. As a Giants fan, I hear this a lot. I read a lot. They're going to bring in another running back. Who that is, we don't know. The one name around the league is that it's going to be James Cook. Okay. And if that does happen, this will become a running back by committee, in my opinion. Or Saquon Barkley will just get the 1-2 punch and James Cook will be the third down back. Let's not forget who are the head coaches and GM now, Joe Shane and Brian Dable, who came from the Buffalo Bills, who really never had a running back like Saquon. 1 and 2 has always had a running back by committee with Zach Moss and Devin Singletary. So keep that in mind. One thing that we loved about Saquon, even from his rookie year, from coming into the NFL, was that he was a do-it-all back. Okay, I mean, he finished third in targets in 2018, over 120 targets, finished RB1. You know, massive expectations for 2019, fell off, finished RB10.
Man, could you imagine trading for him, by the way, right after that? I mean, this is why I feel like the JT trade market is out of control. I mean, anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
I mean, could you imagine trading for Saquon and how comfortable you would feel after that rookie season?
I was trying to do everything. I was trying to do everything to get him, to be honest.
And I'm not saying that Jonathan Taylor is going to happen. I'm just saying the state of the running back market. Sorry, this is great. Continue.
So obviously, massive expectation. 2019 finished RB10. Then in 2020, he tore his ACL. You know, then he's now this past year, 2021. It was just a blur. And he's 25, about to be 26 years old. I think it's time to understand that Saquon is not the same guy. I know that. You know, I think the NFL knows that. The Giants fans know that. You should know that in the fantasy aspect. And it's time to move on. Okay. And I guess to really kind of bring it to close is that Saquon Barkley is not going to get the targets in the air anymore. Because once again, the thought process is that they're going to bring in a running back that can be a pass catching back, that can be the guy. And remember, this is Dalvin's little brother. Dalvin knows how to catch the ball. You best believe James Cook knows how to catch the ball too. So,
of course,
look, it may not happen right away. It may be like a 70-30 at the start, first half of the season. Then I can see it definitely transitioning to a 50-50. You know, at the end of the season, then it was too late to sell Saquon or too late to get rid of him. And I think it's hard right now to get rid of him. I have Saquon in multiple leagues. Yeah, and nobody wants to sell. Wants to take him. They're lowballing me.
Yet every time we do a live stream for a mock draft, people are like, Saquon's going too late.
Saquon's going too late. What's happening? It's so confusing in the fantasy community. So I am actively trying to sell Saquon now.
Okay.
I'm listening to offers. I'm happy to hold and see what's going to happen. But I think if you are a Saquon owner, listen, maybe try and get as much as you can, even if it's a late first, in my opinion. According to crowdsourcing, you should be getting a top 5 pick, 5 to 6, which I don't believe you can get that for Saquon, number 1. I don't think you should get that for Saquon, number 2. And number 3, I think if you're really trying to get the best value out of him, I'm seeing 110 to 112, truly.
Yeah, okay.
And like that's probably the best you can get. So once again, it's hard. Just actively listen. That's all I can really say. Actively listen, actively sell, and see what you can get for Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, if there's a site where I can do a prop bet, and the bet is the Giants taking a running back in this year's draft, I mean, I feel like I would take that. And maybe it's not James Cook, but maybe it's Kyron Williams, maybe it's Tyler Beatty, maybe it's Jerrion Ely, maybe it's Brian Robinson later on.
A ball, you know,
Rashad White. You know, Rashad White could slip, and I think it could be someone. So I like it. All right. I've talked about this. I don't know if the buy or sell is going to come out before this video or not. So let's talk about Michael Carter. All right.
Michael Carter.
I have been having this conversation in most of our startup drafts and most of our live streams, and it's just a worry for me. It really is. I think he's going too high in startups, and I think right now it might be a good time to get trade value. If it's not this year, it's going to be next year. At the end of the day, like the modern running back room, I've talked about this before, but the NFL's changed. There's more and more running back duo backfields.
Yeah.
Look at running back rooms right now, just right now. And there could be even more after this year's draft that are split. Okay. Buffalo, Miami, New England, Cleveland, Houston, Kansas City, Philly, Washington, Dallas, Green Bay, Atlanta, and the Rams. I would argue that they're a running back by committee. Some might not. That's okay. Which leads me to my next question. Do the Jets truly feel set at running back? Currently, they have Michael Carter, Tevin Coleman, Ty Johnson. Do they look at that backfield and say, if in round 2, if there's a Breece Hall on the board, a Kenneth Walker on the board, are they really looking at the running back room saying, yeah, you know what? We're set. We're good.
Yeah,
we're going to pass on these talents that we really like. I mean, they have an abundance of draft picks, 4 selections in the first 38 picks. As much as I love Carter, I mean, I find it really difficult for, like, as a complete team, they are a better team if a Kenneth Walker is here. If a Breece Hall is there, even if it's a down tier, if it's, you know, these guys who are questionable, like the Zamir Whites, like a Dameon Pierce, you know, like a Jerome Ford. This team is better if there's another running back. It's not better for fantasy for us, but this is better for the team if there is another running back in this backfield. In saying that, I do think Carter is a great running back. I like him as a talent, but I think we're all projecting him to be Austin Eckler when he probably might be James White. And that's still a very valuable running back, but it's inconsistent. And right now, I think that you should cash in on the value because, again, if it's not this year, it's next year. Even I said this in our buy or sell, but even if Michael Carter does the same thing he did this year, next year, will he be more valuable? I don't think so. Like, I don't think he'll be more valuable next year. Even if he improves on this year, I could be wrong, but I don't think his value is going to go up. Right. People are still going to be worried next year. Oh, well, he's not really the workhorse guy. So, look, at the end of the day, I think it depends on what you can get for him. I'm okay to hold. If I can get any first in any draft, I would do that. Even if I need to add some draft compensation on my side in the later rounds. But what about the following running backs? What if I can get Josh Jacobs somehow, a Saquon Barkley, like you mentioned, A.J. Dillon, Leonard Fournette, James Conner? I mean, these are all guys that I would potentially be looking at, depending on what kind of team I have. You know, Leonard Fournette and James Conner are more win now guys, but A.J. Dillon, I keep seeing Michael Carter drafted over A.J. Dillon, and I truly don't understand it. I mean, and even in startups, you look at where Tony Pollard is being drafted compared to where Michael Carter is being drafted. I don't get that either. I mean, I feel like Michael Carter could be the Tony Pollard in a backfield, but you're getting Tony Pollard like 4 rounds later. It's confusing to me. So I am suspicious. If it's not this year, it's next year. If it's not the draft, it's a free agency next year. So I don't know. And at the same time, like, we never really saw a healthy running backfield. And if you do look at the splits of fantasy value for Michael Carter with Zach Wilson and without Zach Wilson, he had much better stats with Mike White. It worries me. It worries me. Zach Wilson's not this dump off guy. I mean, he has the cannon. We've talked about him as Patrick Mahomes, as that kind of talent with the arm. That kind of quarterback extends the pocket. Yeah. What's the most valuable running back in Kansas City? Well, maybe Clyde, but it's inconsistent. You know where you see where I'm coming from?
I get what you're saying. It's tough. It's tough. I love Michael Carter, but I understand the worries. I'm a Michael Carter believer, but I love them too. Be on your toes. Be on your toes. Get ready to make a move if you need to. All right, my last and final guy that maybe you guys should be trying to move is, and this may be way too early. I think this is probably a year too early, but maybe I can set the table for you.
Maybe it needs to be early though. Huh? It needs to be early if you want to get proper value.
Yeah, and my second guy is Leonard Fournette. And once again, sounds crazy, sounds even far-fetched.
Yeah.
But the Bucks only have Leonard Fournette and Keyshawn Vaughn. They got rid of Ronald Jones. And I think they're in a prime position to get one of these guys. Look, it may not be a breeze. I think the thought process is Lenny signed a contract extension, okay? Get a 3-year contract extension. It's really only $7 million a year, so it's not crazy. They do have it now after the 2023 year, which could be an opportunity. And Tom Brady comes back. How many years Tom Brady is going to play? We don't know. The expectation is a year or two, but the guy can play until he's 50. And I think Lenny is going to want to play on this team for as long as Tom Brady is going to be on this team. Okay.
Yeah.
Hypothetically, it's 2 years, so which will mean this year and the end of 2023.
Yeah.
So why not draft a running back now? It may not be a Brees. It may not be, a Kenneth Walker, but it can be an Isaiah Spiller, a Ford, somebody that can be the 1-2 punch, because Lenny did all his work in the air essentially, and he got more work on the ground, no doubt about it, this past year. But he did a lot of work in the air, and there was already talks. Todd Bowles, with the new head coach now, Bruce Arians, stepped down, or really stepped up and stepped down. Said that he wants to run the ball more. Lenny has been that guy, but he's older. He doesn't have the fresh legs, so why not invest in a Spiller?
Broke down a little bit as well towards the end of the season. Broke down a little bit. So.
Why not invest in a Spiller? Hypothetically, you get a Spiller in the second, Spiller in the third. However he falls, he's only 20 years old.
Yeah.
By the time Lenny's contract is up, he's going to be 23.
Yeah.
You're chilling. You have Isaiah Spiller, who is a workhorse we don't love. Let him sit behind Lenny. Let him sit with Tom Brady. Get that mindset. And then once Lenny is out, you have a guy. So, once again, this is I'm probably setting the table. It's probably not for another year from now, because I don't see Lenny taking a step back. But you need to keep this in mind. Once again, Ronald Jones is gone. Keyshawn Vaughn, I don't believe, will take a step up. And Tom Brady could be playing for however long. So I'm willing to try and listen to offers for Leonard Fournette. And, Leonard Fournette, I feel like, really only molds a win-now team.
Yeah, so, you're right. Definitely.
So why not try, if you are a win-now team, or if you are a futuristic team and Lenny is the outlier, why not try and sell Lenny? Get some draft compensation. There's no doubt you can get a first for Lenny right now, a 3-year contract extension. They believe in him. I think it's the people around him. Even for me, I think both of us, man, Lenny's so good. Where you can get him in the middle of the 8th round right now.
Totally.
He's playing with Tom Brady. There's no doubt about it.
Startup value is great, but for some reason his trade market almost doesn't equal his startup value. Like, you can get him at such a deal in startups, but you can trade him for more.
Exactly.
Which is weird. That doesn't really make sense.
Exactly. So why not try and
something you said, by the way, which I think is really, really key here, is Lenny wants to play with Tom Brady. So if Tom Brady retires after this year, he truly does, then expect him to cut Leonard Fournette. It doesn't make sense for them. Like, they're not going to find another Tom Brady. And I think, like I said with Michael Carter, if it's not this year, it could be next year. And I think with Lenny, there's always this thing that's hanging in the back of your head where, like, is that contract really for 3 years? I see a 3-year contract, but doesn't mean it's going to be 3 years.
How about this? You have Leonard Fournette on your team. Isaiah Spiller gets drafted. At the moment, you at least in our startup drafts, you can get Isaiah Spiller in the second. If he does go to the Bucks, I think he would, no doubt about it, fall into the second. Sell Lenny, get a first, get the second, draft Spiller. Yeah, that's 200 IQ.
Yeah.
I mean, that is 200 IQ.
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic. Not saying these guys are going to get the workload. You might have to sit on it, but I think it's great value. Why not try to sell Lenny?
There's reasons to be worried, for sure.
Listen, just listen out. You don't have to sell him now, but listen. Think about it.
Yeah. All right. Let us know, guys. What do you think about these players? Do you think we are maybe overreacting? That's fine.
Maybe.
Comment down below. At the end of the day, if it's not these guys, it's someone's value will be hurt by the draft. There will be multiple players who are hurt by this draft. So comment down below. Let us know what you think. Who do you think is going to be devalued after this draft?
Yo, what's good? Thanks for watching. We got a lot more videos.
A lot more.
If you want more videos,
watch
now,
it.
You can also subscribe
right now
if you want to.
You need to.
And lastly, don't forget that you can sign up to support the show and get exclusive content by going to patreon.com/Fantasyland Fam.